Welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College, Pune. Children, I am Deepa Phadke. We will be learning Standard 8th History Chapter 9, Last Phase of Struggle for Independence. So let's start learning about introduction. After learning about civil disobedience movement, features of civil disobedience movement, and also the agreement that was done between Gandhi and Irwin, that is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact, and then round table conferences. Now we are going to study the Quit India movement, underground movement, and the contribution of the Indian National Army in this chapter. So let's begin learning about the Act of 1935. Basically, to make the princely states as well as British governed Indian provinces, to make them get formed into a federation. So to form a federation was the main provision that was made by this Act of 1935. So according to this act, the working of British governed provinces would be handed over to the Indian representatives, and if the princely states joined the federation, then they would lose their autonomy. Hence, that's the reason they did not join it. So because of their refusal, the proposal of federal state in this act was not brought into practice. So overall, if you see, this Act of 1935 proved to be in vain. Even though the Indian National Congress was not satisfied with this act, but still decided to participate into elections of provincial legislature, which was provided by this act. In the elections, Indian National Congress won the majority of seats. Out of 11, 8 provinces were won by the Indian National Congress Party. And then, because none of the party could gain majority over remaining 3 provinces, mixed cabinet was formed. Now, what kind of constructive things or constructive programs or useful work was done by this Indian National Congress Party? This party means the cabinet ministers of Indian National Congress. They tried to release the political prisoners from jail. They introduced basic education. They prohibited liquor, and so many measures were undertaken to improve the conditions of the Dalits. Also, they tried to pass new acts which were going to give relief to the farmers. So this was the constructive program which was done by the cabinet ministers of the Indian National Congress. During the Second World War, England supported America against Japan. The Japanese army reached the eastern borders of India. So obviously Britishers realized that if Japan attacks India, then they'll need cooperation from the Indians. So the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, he sent Sir Stafford Cripps to India. Why did he send him? Because when he came, he wanted to put forward the proposal of India in front of the Indians, and he wanted to convince the Indians that they should support the Britishers. So in March 1942, when he came, he put up the proposal of India in front of the Indians. But unfortunately, none of the Indian parties was satisfied with this proposal, because if you think about Indian National Congress, this proposal was, it did not mention the independence of Indians. So the Indian National Congress also opposed it. Whereas the Muslim League also rejected this Cripps mission. This proposal was known as Cripps mission. So this Cripps mission was also rejected by the Muslim League because there was no clear mention about creation of Pakistan. So both the parties, neither the Muslim League nor the Indian National Congress, accepted this proposal, which is known as the Cripps mission. In 1939, the Second World War began in Europe. Actually, Europe, this Second World War had been started, but the then Viceroy Lord Linlithgow, Viceroy of the British, he declared that India has joined the war on the side of the British. Because we have already learned while learning about Cripps mission that Britishers had already understood that they needed the support of the Indians against Japanese. So over here, the Viceroy Lord Linlithgow declared that India has already joined the war on the side of the British. And the other side, England, claimed also that it was fighting to save democracy in Europe. If this was the claim of the British, England, then obviously Indians had questioned them, that the Indian National Congress demanded that if the claim was true, then England should definitely give or grant freedom to India, which England had refused. So obviously, after this refusal, or after when England denied to give freedom, to grant freedom to India, the provincial ministers of the Indian National Congress, they resigned in November 1939. Actually, the Act of 1935, after that the elections, then the Cripps mission, all these things were not useful for the Indians, and that was clearly understood by the Indian National Congress Party. So, on 7th August 1942, the session of Indian National Congress was held at Gowalia Tank in Mumbai, and Maulana Azad became the president of the session. British should leave India, this was the resolution that was passed by Congress Working Committee at Wardha, now was going to be finally approved in this Mumbai session. So on 8th August, this resolution of Quit India put forth by Jawaharlal Nehru, and then the same resolution was also passed by great majority, and it was decided to start the nationwide non-violent agitation under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji. So Gandhi ji at this time appealed the people, saying that every one of you should, and from this moment onwards, consider yourself a free man or woman and behave like a citizen of free India. We shall either free India or die in this attempt. So these were the words, and this was the inspirational speech given by Gandhi ji, and the message that was given by Gandhi ji to the whole India was do or die. So finally here the resolution for the Quit India movement was passed. After the resolution of Quit India was passed, and after the inspirational speech by Gandhi ji, he appealed the people to die, to do or die for the sake of attaining India's freedom. Instantly, Britishers started arresting all important leaders of the Indian National Congress, and this news of arrest of all these leaders reached every corner of the country. Obviously, the angry mob took out processions at various places. Police started lathi charge. Even though many of the places police opened firing on the public, still people were not afraid now. The places like jails, police stations, railway stations, agitators started attacking these places, which were symbolized the suppressive, these places were symbolized for the suppressive policies of the Britishers. So the people, the mob, they tried to take control over government offices. And Maharashtra also, there are some places like Ashti, Chimor, Yavli, Mahad, Gargoti. These places in Maharashtra, people, especially young people, old people, they struggled with determination, and boundless courage was demonstrated by them. So obviously this made the struggle immortal. As we are talking about the struggle, the agitations, the processions that were started and initiated by the common people of India, do you know, children, about the inspirational account of brave children? You must know about them. The school students also contributed in this freedom movement, and at Nandurbar, the school children under the leadership of Shirish Kumar, you can see his picture on the screen, children. The school-going children carried out procession under his leadership, holding the tricolor flag and singing the slogan of Vande Mataram. The police became furious and they started firing on these small children, and alas, in this firing, Shirish Kumar, Lal Das, Dhansukh Lal, Shashidhar, Ghanasham, these school-going children became martyrs, and that's the reason children today also we remember them and we pay our tribute to these young souls. Let's know about individual satyagraha. The British government was constantly neglecting the demand of Purna Swarajya, which was made by the whole Indians as well as the Indian National Congress. So finally the Indian National Congress decided to start anti-war propaganda, and for this they decided, instead of collective movement, every single person should disobey the laws. This is known as individual satyagraha. Acharya Vinoba Bhave was the first satyagrahi of individual satyagraha, and he was followed by nearly 25,000 individual satyagrahis who accepted imprisonment for their participation. So you can learn one more thing about Acharya Vinoba Bhave, that it was him who started individual satyagraha for the first time. So children, we have learned the chapter last phase of struggle for independence, learning about the Act of 1935, provincial cabinets, Cripps mission, the background of the Second World War and how the Indian National Congress cabinet ministries resigned. Also we have learnt about the background of Quit India movement, the resolution of Quit India movement, and then the beginning of People's Movement. We also have learnt about how Shishir Kumar, the school-going child, became martyrs in this movement, and also we got acquainted with the individual satyagraha and also about Acharya Vinoba Bhave. So we are going to continue learning this chapter, remaining part of the chapter, in the next video session. Till then children, thank you.